All right, a LinkedIn profile rewrite. I would say this is probably the most common question we get asked all day, every day is my profile good enough? Should I make any changes? What do I need to do? And we're going to pick on Megan for a little bit here. And Megan's absolutely awesome. She's a new client of ours. We're working with almost everybody in the Minnesota office over there, and couldn't be more grateful and appreciative to all of them as we're helping them grow their business. But anyway, Trey, let's dive right into a LinkedIn profile rewrite. And I want to highlight some mistakes that Megan's making, some things she's doing great. I'll show you what mine looks like as a comparison, and then we will put together an updated one for Megan later on and combine them all together with some cool editing on the back end. So, Megan, here you go. Let's start off with some compliments. Profile picture, perfect. Actually like it even more because you got some red on you. So I think it pops even more than the usual kind of black, white, and gray that people are wearing in all types of suits. Now, let's stay on a positive. You have your company here with the right logo. You have your college here with the logo. That looks really clean and perfect. You can't imagine how many people have that gray bar that they typed in their company, but they didn't click on the right one. So it just stays gray. It doesn't look great. Now, for some of the bad. You are wasting all this space. In this section is what we call the cover photo. This is entirely wasted space right here. It's a really tall building. It fills in the void, but it doesn't actually do anything. I'll show you an example of mine in a second. And the second thing that we're wasting is the headline. You write financial advisor, so your profile reads like a resume instead of a sales page, which is all too common. Great that you're a financial advisor, but let's take advantage of this space. The framework of, I help blank do blank by blank or without blank works really well. So, for example, for Megan, if it was something like, I help young professionals game plan around their personal finances. Awesome. I help people figure out their money without having to ask their uncle, who's a mechanic, what to do. Stupid example, but it works. So let's just use the space we have to our advantage. It should ideally speak to your target prospect. So if you had a niche, I would address that niche directly, because the point of it is, when we're doing some cold prospecting on LinkedIn and we want to reach out to people, we want to always be perceived as an expert in the field. We always like to work with experts. I want to work with a doctor that's done 1,000 surgeries. God forbid I need surgery, versus some guy that just unfortunately maybe graduated yesterday, not to pick on anybody. So for Megan, let's just say she did a lot of work with residents that were about to become doctors in Minneapolis. So I help third year residents get their financial life in order, so when they graduate, they can work and live stress free. I probably use too many characters, but you get the point there. So that's the next thing I would change. In terms of a cover photo, let's use this space and give some kind of call to action. So for the sake of time, I'll show you what my profile looks like, at least this top half. My name is big. Again, I have We Help Business Professionals. Visit our website button below to learn more. PM me today to set up a call. Another link to our website. So I'm kind of giving some call to actions. I want people to see really clear as day, super quick, who we are, what we do, how we help people. Again, in mind, just for example, we're helping agents and advisors book appointments monthly, and we are advisors. It's built by advisors for advisors. That speaks really well to my niche. So just even a side-by-side comparison, again, not to pick on Megan, you are awesome. We just want to elevate it to the Premier League. So that takes care of the top kind of half, first thing somebody sees. The next thing is we have something called an about section on here that would usually show up right above this activity section below the insights. If you have sales nav, it might be there, it might not. Megan has nothing there, so we're not taking any advantage of it at all. That's completely wasted space. We're going to work on updating that for her as well. What we want to do in that about section, and I'll show you mine just so you see where it appears, right? Suggested for you, analytics, about. Boom. I have all this space that I can, again, give some more information to my target prospect and show them, one, I'm an expert in their field, and two, I can actually help them. And so all that space is wasted on Megan's. And that wants to piggyback right off of your headline. So headline, like any good headline, good hook. Maybe my hook could be better, but at least there's a hook, right? Helping agents and advisors book meetings built by advisors for advisors. If you're an agent and advisor out there, you need help booking meetings, we're the guys. And now I just start to talk about my story. I started before COVID as an advisor. My mentor disappeared. I had nothing going for me. Then I figured out some kind of system, a prospecting system, put me from zero to hero, so on and so forth. In our industry, introductions is so important. Referrals are great. They're unpredictable. You need to have some kind of system. I give some case studies of people that we've worked with that we've done really well for. A little bit of a call to action, like really quick, like our system can solve all this for you. And if you want more information, watch this video that explains it all. Megan, obviously, like we said, to continue to pick on her, has nothing. So that's completely wasted space. And so basically, as it appears, you might just look at this profile and be like, oh, financial advisor, I have one of those, same as everybody else. I don't need one, blah, 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 whatever your preconceived notions are. But if it starts to read almost like a diary to your exact prospect, the prospect's going to be like, oh, wow, Megan actually knows what she's talking about. I probably should reach out to her. So for a bad example is if we were working on Megan's profile, and again, let's just use her working with young professionals in Minnesota, for example. Well, I want the about section over here to read about the problems, benefits, challenges, solutions that a young professional would face as it comes to managing their money. So, for example, hey, if you're like many of the young professionals I work with, here's some things that might be on your mind at one point or another. What do I do with the volatility in the stock market? Should I be buying individual stocks that my friends recommend at dinner, or should I have a diversified portfolio of mutual funds and ETFs? What can I do to game plan around money that's just sitting in cash earning minimal interest that's sitting there doing nothing? How do I start to get into real estate? How do I buy my first home? How do I become a real estate investor? How can I see if my 401k is performing? Are there ways that I can save for retirement that go beyond just using my 401k? I get a group benefits booklet every year with an employee benefits. Do I have to supplement those? Like, I plan on getting married in the near future. Should I be combining my expenses? And so on and so forth and so on and so forth. So whoever's reading this, it reads like Megan actually knows what they're thinking ahead of time. So you read that and you're like, well, I was thinking that. I have a pile of money sitting in cash. I don't know what to do with. So like, originally I read it, financial advisor, oh, I don't need help. Then I start reading the about page and I'm like, oh, wow, this is pretty amazing. I actually was thinking about real estate and my 401k. And oh, what about taxes? I'm filming this on April 6th. Taxes are coming up in the next 2 weeks. How do I make sure I'm not overpaying in taxes? How do I make sure I'm taking advantage of all the deductibles? How do I make sure my accountant and my advisor are on the same page? That's what we want in that kind of about section. And just to show you exactly where it would appear, it's pretty much toward the top of the profile. So that's the next thing that we're going to improve for Megan. And again, I'll combine it with some editing to push them all into one, but I didn't want to delay making this video. The next thing on here is this activity section. And Megan's doing a really good job here of sharing some Northwestern Mutual approved content. And if you're in a space that's heavily regulated with compliance, you'll have certain restrictions. But on the whole, this is another really good space to basically just showcase your knowledge and your value to your target audience, to your prospects. So this one's talking about, I'm guessing, let's just take a peek at it together, 5 common financial mistakes to avoid in retirement. Okay. This is a great article that Northwestern wrote that Megan shared. Great, moves the needle. Is it the best? No. Is it the worst? Far from it. I'd like to see some original content here from Megan, and I'd like there to be a featured article, almost like kind of like pushing her prospects to click on. And that you can feature about 1, 2, or 3, I think at the most is the best thing to do. So again, yes, share approved content, share good content. You want to have activity here, but I also would love to see 1, 2, or 3 featured articles that again builds on top of the about section, that builds on the headline, that builds on the cover photo. So as someone's moving their way down their profile and they're deciding, do I want to answer Megan? Do I want to meet with Megan? She asked me for a meeting. I want the person to be like, oh my God, I need to meet with Megan. So in that article, again, super value driven article. Maybe it's a case study on a client that you worked with, a before and after. Maybe there's a transformation. And again, speak to your prospect as if you had their diary right in front of you. When you can speak to your prospect as if you were literally reading a page out of their diary, your marketing and your efforts are going to dramatically increase. So that's the next section there. Then we get down into your experience. Pretty good here. Financially representative, financial advisor. Again, some more wasted space here that you can put underneath exactly what you do. I would repeat exactly what we said above. You have no idea exactly where somebody's prospect's going to be reading throughout. But I would utilize some of the space in here again under Northwestern Mutual, even if you're at this point in time just selling the company, triple A rated insurance carrier over I'm making up these numbers. I forget off the top of my head, 9 billion in dividends paid, so on and so forth. Like if you're going to sell anything here, sell the benefit of the company, right? We're selling us throughout. Let's sell the benefit of the company. This is fine here. We could probably clean it up a little bit. Just one post on this event coordinator, October 22nd to June 23rd for a contract job. We have it 1, 2, 3, 4, times. We can tighten that up a little bit. Health and wellness coach. Again, let's just tighten it up a little bit. Some of these we can even remove entirely. Nobody cares that much that you were like a manager at the brew pub, unless somebody else was a manager at the brew pub and maybe you want to use this for some prospecting. We can build a video off that. I would leave the Affinity Plus credit union. Again, I would just tighten up some of these experiences. It's a lot. Just one line, 2 lines, branch manager, or whatever your experience was. She has 16 experiences. I can almost guarantee nobody's clicking through this onto the second page. So just tighten this up a little bit to maximize some of the space that we have. Education, College of St. Benedict's, awesome. The only thing I would do here is remove the years. Nobody needs to know how old or young we are. If we're dealing with an old market, they don't need to know how young we are. If we're dealing with a young market, they're really happy to know we're young. They can see by the picture. I would just take out the years. Bonner Scholarship, who really cares? I might want to take that out. Theology and theology studies, again, I would take that out. I don't think anyone really cares. Bachelor's degree, great. I really just want to see like College of St. Benedict, awesome. Now somebody can see we have some commonality. That when you do go to connect to them, they see that clean as day right at the top as well. So, and then some skills, add the skills, don't add the skills. I can't tell you with any amount of certainty that the skills dramatically improve what's happening on the profile. Language, English, fine. Interest is normal. Cause is fine. There's one other section here where it is recommendations, where you want to add at least like 3 of them. You might, from a compliance standpoint, have some issues with that. But if you can get like 1, 2, or 3 people, truthfully, write you a nice 5-star review about your experience. Like if Megan was able to have 1, 2, or 3 of her 8+ clients write about her experience with Megan and basically talk to other prospects being like, hey, if Megan's reaching out to you on LinkedIn and you don't know whether you should meet with her or not, you 100 million% should. She helped me with X, Y, and Z. I'm saving more money. I'm out of debt. My portfolio is managed better than it's ever been. I feel safe and secure with the, downswings in the market. 3 of those would be absolutely amazing because, again, we're trying to get inside of our prospect. A lot of us are doing cold prospecting on LinkedIn. So the more that we can turn our profile from a resume into a sales page where our prospect on their own will read this, warm up to the idea of taking a meeting with you, it is going to dramatically increase the results that you're having, especially if your clients of ours using our software to really automate your outreach at scale. So I hope this was a really awesome video in showing you kind of the before and after, and just a really deep dive in updating and optimizing a profile. We'll continue to do more of these as time comes because I think it's the most important thing on LinkedIn. Have a fantastic rest of your day, night, week. Like, subscribe, click, engage, whatever it may be in 2025, that the algorithm shows this to more and more people so we can help as many people as possible predictably grow and scale their businesses. Awesome.